There are thousands of DOS games. Most of them are terrible. I play one selected at random with a 20-minute time limit and record it live. This is the result. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another random DOS game show. And this is by Gamer's Edge. But really, it's by id Software. And this is Catacomb 3D, a sequel to Catacomb that I've seen before. So if we just head to new game, let's just go normal, and we'll enter the approach. So we are in a pseudo 3D environment. It's not actually 3D, but it's close. And the basic premise of Catacomb can essentially be explained as, hey, what if BJ Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein 3D was a sorcerer instead of a Nazi hunting spy / badass? And that's what this game is. It predates both 3D, and yeah, let's just play. Woe be to he that entereth my domain, Grelminar the Lich, Esquire. So, not much in the way of plot. So let's just get our controls right. It's arrow keys to move. You've got a little compass at the bottom right hand side. Oh lord! He snuck up on me. Fortunately, the controls are more or less the same as Doom, and you hit control to shoot. But it has a slightly different mechanic than Doom, which I'll explain in due course once I find another test subject. You see, what you can do is you can hold. See, I have a charged up hand here, and it's glowing. Hopefully it doesn't explode or anything, but you see the nuke symbol at the bottom there, next to the compass. That shows you, oh goblin, you're in trouble now. You ready? So yeah, for this channel I've already played Wolf 3D, I've played Hover Tank 3D, and this is more of the same really. You just wander around these catacombs, killing goblins, and, you know, you have a choice between, you know, superpowering up and finishing them off. Yeah. Or you can do the cool, rapid machine gun-like fire you saw earlier. Bang, 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 bang. Ha ha ha! No match. And you've got some glorious PC speaker sound to introduce that. Hey, goblin, wanna see a machine gun flare to my hand? Ho 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 ho! Goodbye! Okay, you've got a portal up ahead, so let's just traipse our way over there and enter it. Da-da-da-da! Grelminar's Keep. So, you can see on the left-hand side there, you have the number 2. And you've got an inventory and your score and so on, so we're at level 2, and it also helpfully tells you where you are. So at the minute we're in the main hall, but if we move over here, we're at the keep entrance. So because of the limited graphical palette, they felt the need to sort of tell you, hey, you know, we don't have any map. Oh, bit close. How dare you? So it's useful for navigation purposes. I don't think the game has a map. I think that was introduced later, in around 93 or so, with Doom. But you'll also come up... Oh, yeah, just keep running into a wall, James. That's a good idea. You'll also come up against these. Now, obviously, if we try and pass through that, nothing happens. Because we need a key. Hey! Now, look at my portrait. My neck has gone. That's because the goblin snuck up on me and was able to successfully shoot me. And I'm not sure if it's a range thing or a sound thing. I believe it's a range thing. Ah! Hey, let's pick that up. Bolts and some heals. That could be useful for later. But yeah, these guys, they do have a habit of sneaking up on you. And it was like at the start of a Doom map, you know, where you would, you know, shoot a zombie man and then all the others would start flocking towards you, as if to say, hey, what's going on here? But I mean, the more reasonable explanation is that we've entered a guard post here. So we'll pick up those chests for score. They're the equivalent of Wolf 3D's Nazi Gold. And yeah, everything is as it should be. It's quite a playable and enjoyable game even to this day. If only as a sort of historic curio, so to speak. So we have to go and find the key. Now, the obvious limitation, you'll be hearing it now. Oh, terrible shots, James. Terrible shots. Yeah, another guard post is the music. If you've been listening to the music instead of my lovely, lovely voice, then you'll note that there's only a small sample that is looping over and over and over again. And that's less than ideal. You know, they'd rectify this later. Now, we've got a nuke, we've got some more heals, we're doing well here. There's probably a way to use them. I can't remember off the top of my head. But we'll worry about that later. So we've got our key. Let's slowly navigate our way back to this. And that'll take us to the portal. Hooray! Ground floor. Die! Well, that was easy. Now the other guard is like, why is there a dead body? I recently played a game, it was on the Pie in the Sky 3D engine, which came out years after this, and it had guards just sort of standing around, not doing anything. You know, their guy had been killed, he was lying in a pool of his blood, and the guards were like, yeah, whatever, I'll just stand. These guys seem much more reactive. You know, the AI is much better. I think those id Software boys might be onto something with this whole 3D first-person movement thing. But yeah, the original Catacomb was more of a Gauntlet clone. I'll play that eventually. And, you know, it wasn't tremendous. It was just a sort of standard Gauntlet clone. It wasn't anything spectacular. While this game, you know, for what it is, it's like John Carmack's Adventures in 3D, his first forays, you know. And it's really smooth compared to, you know, the surrounding countryside. I mean, if you compare, like, the movement that we're getting right now with the likes of, say, a Terminator Rampage, I mean, there's no contest. It just flows. Like, this isn't some sore sport. Karina played this for Karina vs FPS, and she used a fancy source port, which added 60 frames per second movement. I'd recommend it. You know, it's a very good way to play Catacomb 3D. But this one, this is the original DOS version, you know? There's no technical enhancements. And you can clearly see the Ultimate Underworld influence with, like, the goblins and the fantasy theme and everything. It's not quite there, but it's still a very enjoyable play. But I think I'll leave it here. The one thing I would note is that compared to, say, Hover Tank 3D, it's missing the interludes. There's no sort of cleverly written, subversive, anti-capitalistic text. You know, it's played fairly straight. But yeah, if you can disable the music and put something else on that's more interesting, and you stick this in a source port, then it's a fun little sort of maze puzzler with entertaining combat. And it's not as good as Wolf 3D or anything like that, but as a piece of historical curiosity, it's different because you can actually go back and play it and enjoy it, which you can't say for a lot of them. So yeah, that's Catacomb 3D. Good fun, worth checking out. And if you like me talking about DOS games, be they from big publishers or just one individual, feel free to check out the hundreds of other videos on my channel. And if you really enjoy me waxing lyrical about classic old games, patronage is an option, but it's not compulsory. So yeah, I guess I'll go find a key now. Wherever that is. Wish me luck. Until next time.